Did you know that we are in an abundance campaign? Yes. Are you excited about being in an abundance campaign? Yes. During this campaign, we have been studying different aspects of abundance. See, a campaign has steps within it. So step by step, we move forward in our understanding in what it means to affirm that prosperity is our birthright. On your lesson sheet within your bulletin, you will find the definition of an abundance campaign. And you will also find our motto for this campaign. Now, you know what I'd like to do today is I'd like to start my lesson by having us affirm together that motto for this abundance campaign. It's pretty powerful. I want us to say that together. May we together speak it? Together? Words into my mouth, creativity into my hands, boundless opportunity before me, and guiding light on my way. Now, on your to-do list, may I make a suggestion? Only if you want me to, will I say it? You know I never say things you don't want me to say. You might want to go home and write this on a piece of paper, a card, and slip it into your purse or pocket. Carry it with you so that you begin to look and acknowledge abundance when you see it. You know how sometimes we ask the question, would you know it if you saw it? Would you know abundance if you saw it? You see, this particular statement that we're using as our motto comes from the writings of a great metaphysician, the Reverend Eric Butterworth. And I think it's powerful because look out. Look out for ideas. Look out for opportunities. Look out for creativity, for these are indications of abundance. And I want you to begin to know what you're looking for. Amen? Now, in this church, we are encouraged to identify and work with principles. In fact, many times we wear the pin that says what? I had on this pin and flying around in the airport in the TSA, when they run you through security, saw this pin, and he says, it works, because you have to take off your jacket and everything, you know. It works if you work it. What works? So I got a chance to preach a mini sermon. Not wanting to bore him or to be detained by him either. I said, the principles of truth work when we work them. Hello? There's a condition on them working. They don't work without our involvement. Hello? In fact, I want to start this sermon that way this morning. Nothing works without your involvement. See, nothing happens in your life unless you have consented to be a part of it. The good or the bad. Whatever you want to name it. If you down in the dumps this morning, you decided to be a part of that. You made the decision, I'm going to be down. I'm going to be depressed, and I'm going to feel bad. Now, just like you made that decision, you can change what decision you made, and you can begin to say, I can be happy. Hello? And I intend to be happy today. I choose to be happy today. In fact, I ain't going to let nothing stop me from being happy today. Are you here? Principles are the thing we look for, not the idiosyncrasies of life, not the fads, not what's popular right now, but we look for principles because principles are eternal and principles are impartial. In other words, the principle will work for anyone. One of the things that I hope to help people eradicate is that there are special people in this world whom God blesses, and God help the rest of us. I want to help people change the thought that they weren't meant to experience the good of God because of whatever reason they give. I want you to know today that if you're willing to participate in your prosperity by claiming it as your birthright and by allowing the abundance of the universe to flow through you, God is doing just as much in your life as it is in anyone else's on the planet. Are you with me? Now, this morning, we want to work with the principle that you have heard frequently if you've attended this church. But maybe you have not known that it is a principle. In fact, you have gone around and you have verbally said it and declared it several times. The thesis for this morning's lesson is actually the statement of this principle. God is the source of our supply, is the principle of abundance. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. God is the source of our supply, is the principle of abundance. And so it fits in and structures our lesson today, which is entitled, Abundance is Available Now. I want you to say that with me. Abundance is available now. Did everybody say that? Let's do it again. Abundance is available now. All right, now let's do some work. Most people think of God as the giver of things. Hello? God gives this, God gives that, God gives the other. If they want something, they have been programmed to believe that you pray to God for it. And if they have been good enough and not done many bad things, then God in time will grant their requests. In time, because they sing songs like, he may not come when you want him. Some of us have joined right in with the chorus, but it's right on time. They say things like, you can't hurry God. You know? As if you cannot experience it until he brings it. I want to work with this today because I want to work with consciousness. Life is consciousness. Put that in your notes. Life is consciousness. And one of the things that you must do is to make the focus of your studies God. See, human beings study effects. Spiritual beings study cause. And the primary cause in the universe is God. You need to know that. That's what Genesis 1:1 says. In the beginning, God. It was not a chronology that the writer was trying to get across, but a sequential order. Put that in your notes. God first. But what is this God that is first? What is this God that we are affirming in our thesis today that is the source of our supply? I want to submit to you that rather than being the giver of supply, God is the supply itself. Are you here? God is the supply itself. I want you to take a different perspective of this morning. Now, if it is true what Paul said in Acts, in God, we live, we move, and we have our being, then we are already in the very midst of our supply. We don't have to wait for it to come. We don't even have to wait for God to give it to us. That is what God is right now. You cannot leave out of supply. Hello? You cannot dodge the supply. It is available now. Now, whether you intend to see it in your experience is another matter. Are you in church today? Yes. Want to work with this now. You cannot have the supply without God. Let me give you an example that you can relate to. If you have a solid gold ring, and you say, I want the ring but not the gold, you will have nothing. For the gold, what? Has taken form of a ring. Pull the gold out, no ring. Are you with me? God expresses itself as, but you take God out of it, you have nothing. God is the supply itself. You see, when you acknowledge and honor and recognize God, then all forms, all possibilities are embedded within the supply itself. You can take the same gold and you can make a necklace. Is that right? You can make a bracelet. Is that right? What is the difference? The difference is the form, not the content. Okay? So when we truly understand some more about God, and I'm not saying all about God because we don't understand all about God. You don't have it. I don't care how long you've been studying it. I don't have it. We have bigger and bigger glimpses of what this is all about. That is why no matter how great a teacher you may be, you are always a student. And when you fail to be a student, you can't teach. At least you can't teach me. Hello? Because there is more of this than we will ever know at any particular time. Are you with me today? If you have God, you have the supply. They are interchangeable. God is the supply, and the supply is what? God. I chose for this morning's lesson a very familiar psalm, as we said. People that don't attend church usually know this psalm. Is that right? Even those that don't read the Bible. I was staying with one of our relatives the other day, and on the big thing opened up to the 23rd Psalm. Sitting in my room, I guess it was supposed to bless the room. People don't read the Bible. Know the 23rd Psalm. Isn't that right? And can at least recite the first verse, the Lord is my shepherd. What's the end of it? And you didn't have to look at the text, did you? I want want to do a little interpretation. I want you to open your Bibles back up, and I want you to look at that first verse. The Lord is my shepherd. Okay? Have you got it? Yes. I want you to look at the word Lord and notice something about the Lord, the word Lord in this verse. Notice that all 4 of the letters comprising that word are in caps. Okay? That is not the way Lord is spelled everywhere in the Bible. When you see the Lord in caps, it is an acronym in Hebrew. The tetragrammaton, the 4 letters that represent Yahweh. Okay? Yes, the Yahweh people were right. That was the name of God. Ain't no great secret. Anybody that studies could find that out. Now, what does Yahweh mean? Yahweh means I am that I am. It is the I am of your being. Are you here? The I am in your being is the individualization of God. God individualized as you. This is heady stuff. Folks don't like this. Puts a lot of responsibility on you. We don't like responsibility. Put it all on Jesus. Jesus said, I come that you might find out that the I am in you is what saves you. Anybody in church this morning? The I am is my shepherd. The individualized essence of God as me and in me is my shepherd. It is through this that I am provided. For it leads me into green pastures. Now remember, for a sheep, green pastures is heaven. Is that right? Now notice that if it leads you there, it doesn't say anything about making you eat it. It leads you into the very midst of what you say you want. It leads you by the still waters. Because you see, when the waters are moving, sheep drinking out of moving waters will drown themselves. Are you with me this way? So it leads you into peace and calmness, but it doesn't make you be peaceful and calm. Are you here? This restores your soul. One of the writings of Fillmore says it is important that we make this interpretation because as long as we use just the word the Lord without an explanation, we have the tendency to separate the Lord from us. Hello? It is only when you know that the Lord is the same thing as you, is that you can know that supply is always available. Why, Mary Tumpkin? Because if it's separate from you, it must give you stuff. Hello? It must give it to you. What we are teaching here is you already have it. But you see, we weren't taught that abundance was ideas. That's why I wanted you to carry that motto. We weren't taught that abundance was opportunities or how to recognize an opportunity. In the midst of a problem, there's always an opportunity. It just depends on who's seeing it. Hello? We have not been taught to look at creativity as abundance. We have been taught that only dollar bills or stocks and bonds are abundance. Hello? And the valuation of a dollar bill can rise and fall every day. In some countries, the dollar bill or whatever that currency is just about only as good as to paper the walls of their house. Are you here? And stocks fall in their valuation. Is that right? So they are not your abundance. Because there would be some times that you would have a lot, and other times that you wouldn't have too much. But what I'm trying to teach this morning is that when God is your supply, you always got an abundance. You with me so far? If God is in me and God is my fulfillment, and I then experience lack in any form, I have not acknowledged and I have not recognized my source. God, put this in your notes. God cannot be depleted or delayed. God must be available now, or God is not God. Therefore, what has to happen is that we must have a greater understanding of God in order to appreciate how our needs are met. Okay? Let's take number 1 on your lesson sheet. The whole, W-H-O-L-E, the whole of God is present at every point in space at the same time. Now, in parentheses somewhere on your notes, put the word omnipresence. This is a concept that we talk, but we don't really work with, the omnipresence of God. There is no more of God in any place than there is in another. So let's go back. There is no more opportunity. Okay, I'm going to hit this now. There is no more opportunity in one place than there is in another. There are no power vortexes. There's no holy ground. All is holy. For wherever God is present, that's holy. So now you can take a cruise or a flight over to the Holy Land if you think so. But that land is no more holy than the land in Opalaka. We keep running and running. Oh, this is the place to live. This is the place where economy is up, where jobs are. You're going to find the day shall come that you will try to run where it is, and you will find out when you get there, it is not. Because it's not in a city. It's in people. It's in people, and wherever you are, that's where your opportunity is, or you wouldn't be there. Hello? See, somewhere along the line, you got to stand flat-footed and say, what you're actually saying is, when you say I can make it, God is here right now with every opportunity that I need to succeed. Hello? Now, the point is, do I see it? Whoever thought that Seattle, Washington would be the place of opportunity? But there's a man that lives there. Hello? Change the climate of the place. Do you understand? It's you. You can change the climate of the place. My home is full of confusion. And you there? I guess that's why Chris had us sing this morning, this God light of mine. You full of light and your home is full of hell. Looked like to me if stuff was rough in the house, soon as you got there, things would change. I can't stand my job. You can't? And you got a God light? Anybody in church this morning? I can't make money here. I can make money there. You can't make money here. You can't make money there. Hello? Because it comes from you, not from the job. And that's what we were trying to teach last week. No matter how many, now they don't like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. No matter how many labor unions you got fighting for you. Your abundance has to come from you. Is this not the truth? We much rather wait until it becomes form. Perhaps this is our problem. We want to wait until something has taken form, which what I'm talking about now has been manifested before we decide to work with it. Hello? And we say things like that. If you give me enough money, I can make it. If I had that amount of money, I could make it. And so you find the experiences of people who in this country and elsewhere who have hit the lottery. And some of them within a few years are broke. Hello? You say, but I'm different. Just let me get a hold of enough. If you really want to be different, start with what you've manifested and make it work. Hello? Start with the gifts and the talents that you've been given and make it work. Don't be waiting for somebody to underwrite you. Hello? Be willing to become that person that someday may underwrite others because they have enough. It does you no good to study the principle if you're still waiting for what is already here. We get our assurance, every time we say that, we get our assurance based on what thing has come into our life. And what we teach here is that you are the thinker. Thinks the thought, but what else? So you waiting on? The government? Who you waiting on? Somebody to die in your family? All of God is right where you are. Here's the thing. Omnipresent substance is waiting for us to shape and form it. Life is here right now. Watch. Life is here right now for me to be active and full of energy. Power is here right now for me to accomplish what I need to do. Love is here right now to establish harmony in my world. Now take the 139th Psalm. Where can I go from your spirit? Hello? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. Now here's the other part. If I make my bed in Sheol, which is one of the words for hell, you are there. There's nowhere you can be that there's not divine ideas present. There's nowhere that you can be that there's not opportunity. There's nowhere that you can be that there is not creativity. And nobody can keep it from you. Even if the IRS got a lien on your house, there's an opportunity. Hello? You have to understand that when you talk about the Lord, the I am is my shepherd. The I am, put this in your notes, is the rule of action. Yes. The law of my being. Number 2, the source is permanent. Channels are temporary. Don't become dependent on any channel. Part of the cause of our frustrations with other people and other institutions is that we expect them to give us what they cannot. I'm going to say that again. We expect other people or other institutions to give us what they cannot. Right? They are channels, not the source. They are the visible means by which things show up in our lives. Get that? The source within you at this point of your soul development, find you where you are. Let me teach. The source within you projects upon others a need that they then seem to satisfy. That is because we are very materialistic. If we truly understood it, if we truly was working in harmony with principle, others would not even come into the picture. As soon as the need or the request was made, the answer would appear. You would not even have time to look around. But because we are still materialistic in our perspective, it seems to come from somebody. But the only thing that can come to you is what comes from you. And it seems to come through somebody. So what do? Well, you bless and appreciate the channel, but you let it go. Every channel in your life, this is really hard news for us. Every person in your life, you ought to wake up releasing them. Because you see, they are just as much a soul unfolding as you are. Yes. You are the one with the belief they are there for you. They are not there for you. They are there for God, just like you are. And they have their own journey that they must take. We got real quiet in the church, too. That's why you're disappointed. Because your trust should not have been there in the first place. You can't let me down unless I was expecting something out of you. We wonder why marriages don't work. Because we get with somebody expecting them to do something for us. We don't talk about what we bring to the table. I want you to fill every need in my life. I want you to make me whole. And eventually what gets across, you want too much. You want what I can't give, and the frustrations begin to settle in, and the arguments and the conflict begin to rise. Hello? Turn that thing off. You must know that nobody, and I'm not just talking about romantic entanglement, I'm talking about parent-child, I'm talking about sibling. You can't get along with your sisters and brothers. Full of God. Co-workers or anybody else. You want them to fulfill your need and they can't. You mad at Bush because he don't fulfill your need. And you let that mess stay in you and it blocks your good because Bush is not the source of your supply. The American government is not the source of your supply. They're not supposed to keep you. You ought to be able to live in any country on this planet and be supplied. Are you in church today? We think we cannot love because a certain person is not in our life. People will say, well, you know, I was with the wrong person. As a cousin of mine said one time, I was in the right church but the wrong pew. Now I'm in the right pew. As if you switch to another, it's going to be any better. Hello? This one. We like a dog sniffing. This one. This one got my bone. And don't let them be nice. Because we'll drain them for everything they got. Then wonder why they go out for a can of Campbell's and don't come back. We get mad because people make a decision that they're ready to make a transition. Why did you leave me? Because I wanted to go. Notice it's always in terms of me. Not in terms of what's best for that soul on its journey. Let them go. You better find out why you still here. We carry hurts and grudges and resentments for years because somebody is no longer in the picture. That is, I don't care how much you say in this church, God is the source. That is a true indication that you thought that was your source. You thought that was there for you. And they really messed up your life when they left. Everybody is there on a stop-by basis. We have looked to them for our good when the only place we are supposed to look for our good is God. You appreciate channels for being the means of helping you experience what has been generated from within your own being. Hello? But release them. Release them to do what they too must do along this journey. Look to God. Look to God. The prophet Isaiah, the scripture I put next to the second point, the prophet Isaiah was counseling Ahaz, king of Israel. And he was trying to get him to see something because Ahaz was a king, and that meant that he was a force for power in his nation, of course. And he had made some deals. He had made some deals with Egypt. And he wanted to tell the prophet, this is the way in which the nation will succeed. See, I made this deal with Egypt, and Egypt is a strong nation. And Egypt has chariots, and Egypt has soldiers. And so when I get in a jam, all I got to do is call on Egypt. And they'll be right there, and the situation will be solved. And this is Isaiah's reply. Look at it. Alas for those who go down to Egypt for help and who rely on horses, who trust in chariots because they are many and in horsemen because they are strong, but do not look to the Holy One of Israel or consult the Lord. Put your trust in the right place. Since God is what? Equally present. Okay? All of God is equally present. There is no telling what channel it will use. So, don't get stuck on the channel. Get stuck on God, and you will find that abundance is available.